Right, the transfers this week are looking crazy, and what is the possible ways we can do to change our teams, adapt to the challenges, and most importantly, replace Haaland and keep fighting to move up those ranks? Welcome back to FPL Access, as I talk you through all my transfer plans, some of the transfer targets you could get, and everything I would say is really important for this game week. So starting off then, let's talk about my team. So obviously, if you've watched the team selection video, there's a few areas in the team I want to look at, but let's look at the obvious one. So Haaland coming out, I've got 2.4 million in the bank. Now the players that I would suggest getting in for me is Solanke and Isak, but let's go to the forwards. Let's see who you could possibly get in. Obviously you don't really want to get in anyone who is going to not be good long term, so you could get Julian Alvarez to replace Haaland. Now I'm personally going to avoid Julian Alvarez. Now, if you already have Alvarez, obviously you got to keep him, you got to play him. He could do really, really well with Haaland being out. He didn't look too great in the Luton game, but obviously Jack Grealish looked pretty good in that game, and I'm a little bit excited by him. But game week 18, they don't play, and when you're getting in a player to replace Haaland for maybe 2-3 weeks, you don't really want to have 1 week where you're going to have a benching headache by getting in these Man City assets. So I'm saying Julian Alvarez is a huge avoid. Now, one of the players I'm really excited about is Solanke. Now, Solanke's been going absolutely crazy recently. He got 13 points against Newcastle. He blanked against Sheffield United. He scored against Aston Villa and he scored against Man United. Now, he has blanked twice in the last 5 against teams that maybe Bournemouth. They obviously got 4 wins from their last 5, but Luton, Forest, Fulham, if we go off this, he's actually doing much better against the bigger teams than he is against some of the lower teams. And in fact, I don't think he's actually returned against any lower team except for Wolves in these fixtures. And he could have the potential not to do it, and I think that kind of makes me turn off from Solanke. Like, he's the potential to boom, but when it comes to those games, I feel like he's not as potent against them. Maybe it's because he doesn't rise to the occasion, maybe not. I haven't looked at the underlying data for those games. Obviously, in those games, he actually has quite a high XG, a higher one than he did against Aston Villa. He had a very high XG against Man United, and Newcastle, he didn't have a very high XG. So maybe he could boom and he could do well. I'm just leaning against him, and the player I am leaning towards, well, just going down the list, Cunha, you could get him in, but he's got some challenging fixtures and Wolves haven't looked too great. Obviously, he's returned in the last 5 games, really. I mean, 5 points isn't great, but Cunha's actually been slowly ramping it up, obviously scoring against Forest last week. So he's a cheap option to get in as well. There's Darwin Núñez. He's obviously got some challenging fixtures, but to be quite honest with you, Watkins outscored him when everyone got him in for Watkins, so I'm just not going to be looking at getting Darwin Núñez in ever. The player I'm getting in, and the player I would suggest for you guys to get in, is Isak. Now, Isak's not done well recently. He's got 3 blanks. He scored against Chelsea, but I think he could boom, and I think his next fixtures are really good. He's got 3 good fixtures: Fulham, Luton, Nottingham Forest. I think he's a better asset than Solanke. It's just about the minutes risk for him. Obviously, we know that they're playing lots of games in quick succession. You've got 3 days between Luton and Forest. And Solanke, you know, is going to get guaranteed minutes. And obviously, Isak could easily get a bench for Wilson and other stuff like that, which makes me a bit more adverse to that, but I think he's got the potential to boom in at least one of those games. I think Fulham's dangerous for Newcastle. I think without Trippier, I think, like I said, again, that they could boom in that game, and it could be another whitewash for Fulham. So what I would say with that is, I would say that Fulham, yeah, it's a bit of a risky fixture. Maybe I'm just slowly talking to myself live on this video about getting in Solanke. I'm just really interested in getting in Isak because I'm just looking at the fixtures. I think Fulham, Luton, Forest, Liverpool, Man City, and then he's got Luton, Forest, Bournemouth again, and then he goes on like these mad runs. I could have him until the end of the season. Now, I know we're getting him in for Haaland. You probably want to upgrade him, so you don't want to get a player who's going to drop in price. So there is that as well. Or I actually slowly talking myself into getting rid of getting in Solanke right now. So it's Solanke and Isak for me. But talking about the rest of the team then, I think the players that I'm looking for. So we got Tsimikas. He's not been great recently, and nor has Gui, who actually just went down in price annoyingly. So maybe I should have done that. But I really want to get in Trent Alexander-Arnold to replace one of those two next week. Now, I'm going to probably be taking a hit next week. I mean, that's probably quite easily recognised. But definitely Trent is on my mind. And additionally, for game week 18, I think Trippier is on my mind too. With getting Haaland out, you get the potential to get in Trippier, the potential to get in Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. Now, doing that is really good because the Cells, obviously, he has a Botman issue coming in. He hasn't been playing great recently. And I think it's more like sooner than not, seeing as Botman's slowly coming back in training, that the Cells is going to be benched. So I'm definitely going to be looking at getting rid of the Cells for Trippier and game week 18. I'm actually 100% confident on that move. I think I might make it as soon as the deadline goes. Unless something, I guess we have to wait till Champions League though. But I'm really confident on Lascelles going out. And then additionally, a lot of people have been talking about Chelsea defence. Now, Reece James just got injured. Cole actually got a clean sheet last week. Oh no, he didn't. He almost got a clean sheet last week, but he unfortunately didn't. So yeah, Chelsea defence is kind of a big conversational topic that we need to figure out. Now, yeah, Reece James got injured. Cole came on, almost got that clean sheet, and maybe he could be the one to sort of be the one to get in Chelsea. And they've got some good fixtures, but that defence is awful. Everton smacked them 3-0. I'm just not confident on the defence. And with Haaland being out, there's a lot more options, and you don't need to go for the Cole Chelsea route anymore. And I think I'm probably going to just leave it as that. Maybe they get a 1 or 2 clean sheets on the bounce. It could be a good idea. Obviously, just looking at my team currently for next week with no transfers in, Udogie will start, Lascelles will start, Gabriel will start, Dubravka will start. I don't know what other ways to get in for that. I think I'm kind of probably going to get in Trent and bench Garnacho, and that's probably going to be my team for the week there. And I'm going to be really annoyed if Garnacho gets a result against Liverpool, but I'm really unsure of what else to do really. I guess I could bench one of Lascelles or Dubravka if I get smacked in the Champions League. Maybe I'd bench Lascelles for Trent there. Seeing as Trippier was out anyway, so maybe that would be a good idea. But yeah, that's ultimately my transfer plan. So again, thank you guys for watching, and make sure to sub, and make sure to tell me your transfer plans down below, because to be quite honest with you, so many different routes to go, and something that we all have to look at.